Kia ora, Holly Gooch here with a no-frills summary of a piece of literature on twice-exceptionality. In today's article, we're going to find out, are twice-exceptional students being catered for in the education system? So the authors of this article reviewed research published in English between 2000 and 2020 about teachers' or students' experiences of education in relation to twice-exceptionality. So they found 15 articles, and all of these were empirical studies, which is great for us because it means that we know that scientific rigour was applied in the investigations. The studies came largely from the United States, with almost half of them from the United States, but other countries that were represented included Australia, Slovenia, Canada, China, and New Zealand. Almost half of the studies were qualitative, which means that rich descriptive information was collected from the teachers and students, not just numerical data. There was a large variability in the size of the studies, with some studies only having a few participants, others with hundreds, and one study in particular had almost 1,000 participants. The studies found that overall teachers had insufficient training in twice-exceptionality, and that this limited the teachers' ability to identify twice-exceptional students and to apply appropriate teaching approaches. For example, many teachers only saw or addressed the students' learning difficulties, and many overlooked their giftedness. Those involved in gifted education tended to have a better understanding of twice-exceptionality than those who worked just in special education or in learning support, as we know it here in New Zealand. Twice-exceptional students themselves reported that their schooling experiences were inadequate for their needs. Factors that did make a difference were teachers' knowledge and understanding of twice-exceptionality, the extent to which the adults around them collaborated, and whether their strengths were focused on in their learning program, not just their disabilities. Another factor that influenced their experiences is educational structures and environment. So, for example, were students able to access both gifted programs and learning support programs simultaneously? So what's the so what? Educators, if you don't already have training in working with students with learning differences, this is something that you should access if you want to be equipped to make a real difference for twice-exceptional students. This article provides a really good rationale to the people funding your professional development to support you to do so. Also, if you are focused in one area, for example, learning support in special education or gifted education, then this article highlights how important it is to be on the lookout for indications from the other end of the spectrum. So if you work in gifted education, for example, you want to keep an eye out for learning difficulties that your students might have. And if you work in special education or learning support, you also want to keep an eye out for any signs of giftedness in your students. The article also highlights how important it is to work closely with your colleagues in the other department. Parents. This article highlights how important it is that you don't assume that your child's teachers have a good understanding or any training in relation to twice-exceptionality. This article also reminds us that you need to advocate for your child to make sure that they're getting access to extension opportunities and gifted programs, that they're not just getting learning support for their disabilities. A third thing that this article reminds us of is that you have a really important role to play in supporting your child as they navigate through the schooling system, particularly as it's not particularly suitable to their needs. So our question was, are twice-exceptional students being catered for in the education system? And our answer is basically no. So that's that. And with that knowledge, let's get on with the job of supporting our twice-exceptional young people to develop their superpowers.